And next, we're going to look at some stance work. So we're going to have Shifu Richard Cummings. He's going to come up here. He's going to play some Tai Chi and Qi Gong stepping with. Give him a hand. Welcome him to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I see your sun over there. It's bright, isn't it? I'm over here in case you can't see. So we're going to do some stances because in my experience of teaching, and by the way, I've been teaching at University Tai Chi at Longwood Park for 23 years now. So I was in my 40s. Now I'm retired. So finally, I lived long enough. So thank you, the ones who doubted me. What we're going to do is start off with some basics. Sometimes before movement, it needs to begin with stillness. So, for example, we have a few stances. One of the stances I'd like to work on is it's a drill. So we're going to do a drill here in a moment. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to go left. We're going to go right. We're going to come back. I'm going to show you some of the usages of the stances, what you're used for in your everyday life, not just Tai Chi, but everywhere in your life. So it begins with your feet about shoulder width, your knees slightly bent. This is a high horse stance. So you have your feet about shoulder. Imagine you're riding a horse. So you don't have to put your hands here, but that's the concept. We're in a horse stance. All these stances in Chinese, these are ma. So Sei Ma, Dan Ma, Fiji Ma, different. Ma means a stance. So it begins with a stance. So this is a 50-50 stance. You don't do this much in Tai Chi at the beginning of a movement or at the end of the movement, but in between you're shifting from one side to the other. So we can begin by shifting. We shift to the left, and we shift to the right. And so you find all your weight shifted, and all your weight shifted. So what do I mean when I say shifted? Everybody knows what a sand egg timer is, right? You turn it over, all the sand goes down. Well, same thing. I'm filling up this leg, and then I'm filling up this leg. I don't want to lean into it. Just shift my weight. Here, and I shift my weight back. Okay, good. Okay, this is the first stance. The second stance is a little wider. If you notice, my front knee is bent. So this is simply called a bow stance. Another name for a bow stance is a hill climb stance, like I'm climbing a hill. So it's a hill climb stance. So again, we can turn and shift back the other way in this stance, keep our body straight, and shift over this way. It seems like not much is happening, but a lot more is happening than you realize, especially if you practice. I know you all do that. I know all my students are always practicing when I'm not around. So we're going to go from this stance to what I call the harder of most stances, and that's a twisted stance or a lady horse stance. So you just want to step all the way over so that your back foot, your back toe, goes to your front toe, and your back heel is up. How do you know you got it? You shift all your weight, and you can lift your foot. Yeah, so now if you shift your weight, you can lift your foot. Everything's down. Now this is a hard stance, so this is the hardest stance. This lady horse stance, I know people I've been working with for many years are having trouble with this stance. And I'm going to show you how to improve on this stance here in a moment. So now from this position, you're going to turn left. So you turn all the way left, all the way left, all the way around. Now in this stance, this is called a cat stance. Why? Everyone knows a cat barely touches the floor. I really don't want to go there. The cat stance is touching down here. This is a narrow stance. Again, you're sitting back on the back leg and you can lift your foot. Very good. Now, from this stance, we'll step back. And now it's a toe up. Or another term for this stance is called a 7-star. Meaning the stars of the joints going up the body. It also looks like an upside down 7. So, if you're sitting down, you can lift your foot. You shouldn't be sitting down, lifting your foot and leaning back. That's the worst thing. Don't lean back. That's not a good posture for it, as Brian said earlier. Some things you don't want to do, and leaning back is one of them. You don't want to lean back. So you can lift up here. You don't have to. Keep it all relaxed. You notice in all these stances, my waist is level. One hip isn't up, the other hip isn't up. They're level, and I'm feeling relaxed and loose. Now we'll turn back to the left again. This stance, if you notice, I'm sitting back. My front leg is mostly forward, but my back foot is slightly at an angle. I need this angle to help me keep my balance. If I have both of them straight and I try to lean back, now you get the walking the tightrope type feeling. You don't want to be there. So your foot is turned out. This is an example of a crushed horse stance. Crushed, you're crushing something between your knees. It's also used in martial arts to help block your crotch. Someone's going to kick it, boom, you block it in like this. Okay, the next stance is we take a step forward and we slide up on the back toe. So this is a heel up stance. Again, if I move forward, I can lift my foot. Now there's forces on this foot, but I have most of my major forces on my front foot. Very good. Now, when we get this one, we're going to sit back, and sit down, and we're going to lift. This is a golden chicken. People call it golden rooster, phoenix, whatever it is you want to call it, but you want to lift up. So how high do you need to lift? If you're having a problem with balance, just lift your heel up and try to lift your toe a little bit. I know people who've had strokes and other balance issues. This is a very difficult pose. So you can lift up. We can modify any of these poses to meet anybody's demand. People do these things from a chair. So lift up. Now the biggest, for those like Jack and Paul, who are engineers and college educated, the maximum stress on you is with your leg is flat. This is called a moment in mathematics. So if the maximum moment is 9 degrees, if I have it less, it's less difficult. If I have it higher up, it's less difficult. So I move the moment of my leg. Right? Okay, down. Right down. Okay, so we do things the yin yang, left. Now we go right. Okay, so now we're in a stance. Here we are. Riding horse stance. Now we're going to turn. Now we're in a bow stance. Or hill climb bow stance. Knees are bent. And I want you to see with this crack in this floor here, and I think you can all see that, I really don't want my both feet to be on the same line because, again, you're walking a tightrope. So you want to have some space between your feet so that you can. And this is a new paradigm in fitness now. It's not just shifting weight, but having stability in all the movements that you make. So you're forward like this, your body's straight, sink in. So you sink in. If you notice in my posture, the farthest thing back here is not my back, it's my butt. My butt should be the farthest thing back. I feel nice and loose. And this looseness that you feel, song, very springy, very springy. You can feel the strength of your legs. You can feel the connection through your quad from one knee to the other. You can feel it coming up through your crotch area and backing out. If you feel that connection, you get what I want. If you take your front toe and move it out, so take your front toe and kind of shoot it out this way, try to feel that connection again. The connection goes bye-bye, doesn't it? It's not there anymore. Again, if you bring it back, you feel it, and now you can make a very strong stance by just bringing your toe in a little bit. You bring your toe in a little bit so they both kind of face the same way. You feel almost like you're being screwed into the ground. So a very, very stable stance here. All right, now the next move. Tip all the way across so that the back toe faces the front toe. Feel that? Again, if I shift my weight forward, I can lift my back foot. That's a tough move, I know. Try not to lean forward like this to do it. Look at how far low I can get. No, you're really not doing it for yourself. So you keep your body up, and just as long as you shift weight, that's fine. This is typical. I'm going to come back to this. We're going to turn all the way to your right, all the way around. Now we're going to face this way. Now the toe is down. I'm in a cat stance. So this toe is barely down. Shift my weight. My butt is still the farthest thing back. All right. Now, because everyone gets this one. This is a transition step. From here, I might go to this one. Or I might go back to this one. This means I'm usually going to go somewhere from here. Now, we're going to step back to a 7-star or toe up. Again, I can Can I lift my foot without leaning back like this to get here? Yeah. So this takes some core strength to get this up, some balance. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go turn all the way to the right. Now we're going to take that slide in step. Now I'm shifting my weight. Again, I can step back, I can step forward, I can step across. I can combine any of these movements, which I do in Tai Chi, to get the form. So we're just going yin and yang, right and left, soft and hard, up and down. We're going right now. Now, from here, we're going to turn back to the left. Now, we're going to turn back to the left. And again, we're going to lift. Golden chicken. So lift. You can do it with your toe down. You can do it with your heel either way up here or in the center. Now, you notice I don't have any hand movements in here. That comes along with the stance movement that we're doing in Tai Chi. So we're just doing the basic stance. Now, what are the stances good for? Okay, you can relax here, everybody. Thank you. I want you to feel these. So, what are these useful for in real life? In real life, guess what? I'm getting in the bathtub. I took a stance. I got to get a box of cereal from up at the top shelf. I'm up here like this. Maybe my Labrador bumped my leg. Oh, I sit back. I'm in this stance. So these are all practical things you can do. How about the horse stance? I'm sitting in my car. So again, all of these are very practical, real-time things that you need your whole life. And so don't miss the I'm pointing my finger at the moon. You're looking at my finger, but the moon's out there, as Bruce Lee would say. Don't miss that thing. So learning Tai Chi gets you all the rest of your life. So the last part of it is the lady horse stance. Step all the way across. As long as your heel is up, you're okay. If you notice that your toe points towards your other heel, now I call this a curtsy stance. You can only go down like this, and you can only go so far because your hips lock up if they're not in the right position. But and I'll leave this with you. If you get it in the right position, and your toe is facing your front toe, you can collapse this form all the way down to the bottom and still have your balance the entire way. So again, it's a position, and what do you get from the positions? You get practice. So you have to polish that stone and practice. I have to practice. Everyone I know who's an instructor here has to practice as well. So I have a lot of students that when they can't do a move like this, I give these excuses. It's my shoes. I can't do them because my shoes are like yours, Rich. Or they go, oh, Rich, my legs don't work like yours do. Yeah, they do. They work just like mine. In fact, I have almost 70-year-old legs, so I know they work just fine. So that's okay. Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed these stances. What I'm going to do is combine these stances with some movements, and I'm going to do it with my sword. So if you want to sit down for a second, I'm going to take a few minutes. We'll work to the form. A lot of people have never realized that sword form and weapons forms are also associated with Tai Chi. So this is a short, yang-style form, and I'll work you through the very beginning. I'm trying not to go too slow. I think I got a couple minutes for that. Okay, so again, we'll step out into a high horse stance. So we have our stances here. They're wide. Like all the things that came before me with Brian. Loosening the shoulder, loosening the face, loosening the neck, bending the knees, sinking into my Dan chin. All that's part here. So from here, I lift. Sink and stretch. Exhale. Here's lady horse. That hard movement. And poke. Roll back. Cat stance. Lift gold chicken. Bow stance. Cutting. Cat stance. Bow stance. Gold chicken. Lady horse. Pose stance. Horse stance. Baby horse. Cat stance. Cat stance. Cat stance. Baby horse. Pose stance. Crushed stance. Poke. Cat. 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 Seeking, 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 lady horse. Cat stance. Roll back. Crush stance. Roll back. Crush stance. Roll back. Crush stance. Roll back. Crush stance. Pose stance. And now we're at the finale. Shay, thank you very much. Enjoy your Earth Day. When I'm coming, that's an hard to hear your interest. Nice to meet you all this morning.